Do not invest in these Pokemon card singles. Hey, if you're new here to the channel, my name's Michael /Pokeoz. We talk all things Pokemon card investing on this channel with a particular lens on the sealed side of things, but today is something a little bit different. Singles. I'm going to talk you through some singles not to invest in. I get asked a lot of emails, a lot of questions in the comments down below, should I invest in this card? And I see it all the time on things like the Poke Investing Reddit forum, different Facebook groups, is this a good card to invest in? And quite often people are talking about modern cards, whether they're promos or of course set cards, and the answer sometimes is no. They're actually not a good investment. And I guess this is a lesson for a lot of newbies, but also if you've got some experience in the Pokemon investing space, this is a really good recap for you. Now, one of the reasons I don't do too many videos on singles is because I don't want to come across as a hypocrite. For singles, or when it comes to singles for me, I just buy what I like. I literally, if I go, that would be an awesome card to have sitting in my binder, I buy it. If it goes up or down or sideways, it doesn't bother me because I don't invest in them particularly. Like, I don't buy them as an investment. So it doesn't bother me. However, a lot of people are very experienced singles investors or run businesses around singles, whether it's grading players and sending them off to get graded and making money off them. So I'm not going to sit here and do videos on how to do that because I don't do it myself. That would be hypocritical. It doesn't make much sense at all. So with all that in mind, let's touch briefly on singles for 30 seconds before we jump into the crux of this video. But when it comes to singles, the reason I don't invest in them is because they're like this. They're too volatile for my liking. Sealed is a deflationary asset. When you buy a booster box of a sealed product like Evolving Skies, you bought that 3 years ago. After all printing's said and done, less and less of them are going to be on the market. That's just common sense. Singles, on the other hand, more and more of them come on the market as more and more product comes out. And as a result, we also see more cards get graded and we get to see more population reports or higher population reports, more PSA copies, Beckett copies, etc. So I don't invest in singles because population actually increases on them. Now, that doesn't mean they can't go up in value. Some of them can go like that. Some of them can be way better performing than sealed will ever be in a short time period. Some singles can double or triple in price in the space of 6 months, and it's very rare that you'll see that with sealed product. Sealed product is more that safer, slower burn, which is more my style. But singles, here's some not to invest in, and probably the most common one I get asked and I see in questions everywhere at the moment is the Gold Charizard from Phantasmal Flames. Currently, this has a market price of about $330. It has dipped quite significantly raw, hasn't it? And people are asking me this at the start when it was like $800. Like, should I buy it? I was like, no, it's only going to get cheaper. At launch, singles are so high because there's hardly any of them been opened and on the market and found and got yet. So as time happens and more get open, we see more and more on the market. And I just like, no, don't buy it when it's $800. Don't buy it when it's $700. Don't buy it when it's $500. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the exact same thing now. Don't buy it at $330 US. It does seem to have leveled out, or it has seemed to have leveled out a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Has it found its floor? No, in my opinion, it hasn't quite found its floor yet. I think it'll get a fair bit, well, I shouldn't say a fair bit, but it'll definitely get a bit cheaper than what it is at $330 US. We know the chase is hard. It's not an easy card to pull. But if we go back in history, and here's my argument around why I don't think this will be a good investment. I get it, it's Charizard. It's one of the most fan favorite Pokemon. There's a lot of cards raw though that weren't easy pulls in history. If we go back not too long ago to sets like Shining Fates, Champion's Path, where we had Charizard VMAXs, shiny Charizards, not the most fan favorite looking cards, just like this Gold Charizard is not a fan favorite looking card, and tough pull rates on those as well. And they're still sitting around $200-300 US raw. Even if we go back to Black and White era, we sort of had some of the first major gold cards in the Zekrom and Reshiram from Legendary Treasures. Now, these are going for $300 and $200 respectively, and these have very low PSA 10 populations. Like, we're talking in the 30s, and they're going for 7 to 8K when they come up for sale as a PSA 10. So this Gold Zard, I just don't think it's going to be At 330, you go, okay, it seems to have hit a floor. It's come down from 700. It's going to be a great buy because it's going to go back up to, you know, $700 or $800. I think if that's what you're expecting in the next 12 months, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Maybe over time, you know, once print runs are finished and in 3 years' time, this hits its floor of $200 or $250 or $300, whatever the floor might be, maybe it'll creep back in price after that. But at the moment, I don't think it's a good buy, I certainly don't think it's an investment, particularly a short-term investment over the next 6 months. Next one on my list is the Mega Venusaur from Mega Evolution's base. I like what they did here with a lot of these Mega Evolution cards. I actually really like this as a base set. I think it's one of the best base sets we've seen in a long time. It's $125 US, this card. I love the Lucario, the one where it's fighting Venusaur. But interesting question, how on earth, that fight scene of Lucario and Venusaur where they're like above buildings, how on earth did Venusaur get up that high? Anyway, that's a better looking card than this one, but Mega Venusaur at $125, if you think this is going to be investment at that price, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken. More and more of this will get opened. It'll dip, in my opinion, to a $50 card. Like, nothing against the card. I think it's a nice card and I think it's a beautiful base set, but at $125, it is not a good investment. Next one on the list is the Mega Zard. So this is the Mega Zard X. It is the promo out of the UPC. It's currently $36. Is it a good investment short term at this price? No, I think it'll dip a little bit more. Is it possibly a good investment slightly longer term than that? Yeah, probably. It probably is. And look, we don't know. None of us have crystal balls. But if you look back in history, the last Zard UPC we had, which was Sword and Shield UPC, we had 3 beautiful Charizard promos inside there. And they come out of the gate pretty strong, similar to what this Charizard has. And then all of a sudden, you know, they dip to like 15 to 20 US dollars, or depending on the card, 25 US dollars. There was 3 different promos inside there. And now they're back up again. So they found the floor as more and more got open, which I think is going to happen with this Zard. It might drop from $36 down to maybe, you know, $20 or somewhere around there, $25. So if you're looking for a short-term investment, this Zard is not the short-term investment for you. It's not going to be one that's going to go from $36 to $72, like double in price for the next 6 months. I just don't think that's going to happen. But maybe long-term, once our Zard UPCs have run out and this card becomes a little bit more scarce and the UPCs become a little bit more scarce, maybe it will climb back up to a, you know, $50, $60 promo because it's a good-looking card. Next one on the list is the Stained Glass Birds from Hidden Fates. This reached a very high ceiling, north of $100 US. It's back down to $90 US. One thing you've got to remember about this card, as beautiful as it is, and that's the thing about most cards on this list here, they're good looking cards. I'm not having a crack at the cards, I'm just talking, you know, sensibility wise in terms of investments. This Stained Glass Bird, it's in every single Hidden Fates Elite Trainer box. And there was so many of them printed. This is not a short printed set. Think Prismatic Evolutions. This got pumped across not only a 12-month period, but a 2-year period with reprints. This was a very heavy printed set, very popular set, very popular promo. I don't think you're going to be able to buy this for $90 US and expect it to go to $150 or $180. I think it proved that it didn't quite survive north of $100 US, and maybe that $80 to $90 US is its price point. Maybe very, very long term, it might jump up to a $120 US card or a $150 US card, but I don't see it as an investment opportunity where it's hovering around that $100 US price. 4 more examples for you. Before we do that though, I just wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. There'll be a link in the description to download. You can follow my journey down the content creators section. The other side of it is there's so many new cool updates to the Collector app. You can put all your singles and all your sealed in there. It'll track data daily with sales across eBay, and then of course some TCG player numbers depending on the volume of the card or the sealed product. You're also getting so many cool features, like I was saying now. You can check out trades on there, like is your trade fair compared to what you're getting off someone else. Your whole portfolio, it'll show you what your gains are, it'll show you market movers for different cards and different sealed products, so what's making you money daily or losing you money, but hopefully making you money. Such a good app and so well done. Again, link in the description to download that one. Next one I wanted to talk to you about is Black Bolt. Black Bolt and White Flare are going to be sneaky sealed movers in my opinion. The total set value for these two sets and 2 elite trainer boxes is strong. Total set value is high for them. There's some big hits inside here, lots and lots and lots and lots of depth. One that I don't think will see too much more of a price rise in is this one. Don't get me wrong, Shinji Kanda's artwork is outstanding. This is the Seismitoad from Black Bolt. It's 118 US dollars. It's proven it could go a little bit higher than that, but same thing, it couldn't hang on at that price. As in, what happens is when a card pushes to a certain price, sales volume drops. And what happens when sales volume drops? That means demand has dropped. And what happens when demand drops? Well, price drops, because people still need to sell them. The market still needs to market, like it still needs to operate. As a result, we saw price come back down to a more sustainable price where people are wanting this card. I shouldn't say you can't polish a turd because it's Seismitoad, that's very rude, but hey, Shinji Kanda just proves what you can do with a bit more of a no-name Pokemon, I guess, or a less popular Pokemon, I should say. Next on the list, Journey Together's Salamence, 65 US dollars. I've seen a fair bit more Journey Together hitting the shops. It is quite readily available in booster packs everywhere at the moment. It's one of the, I suppose, bottom half sets, you'd say, from the Scarlet and Violet era. Personally, I quite like it. That Lily's Clefairy is a beautiful looking card, as is his Salamence. But as other sets have shown us, as time goes by and more packs get open, those cards that came out of the gate at like your 60 to 100 US dollar marks, I'm talking, you know, Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces, particularly of all those special illustration rares from Temporal Forces, those 60 to $100 cards are now like $30 to $40 cards. So Salamence as an investment, albeit it's probably a bit more of a popular Pokemon than some of those cards from Temporal Forces like Raging Bolt, etc. I don't see it as an investment at $65. I wouldn't be expecting to double your money in a quick period of time. Seventh one on the list, again talking Temporal Forces, is Ghastly. Ghastly is a beautiful illustration rare from Temporal Forces, currently going for 55 US dollars. The big question is, what makes it worth more than that? Unless we see a massive influx of demand on this card, it's going to hover somewhere around there for the rest of its career, I would say. And final one on the list, and this is a very perhaps controversial one, is the Gengar VMAX from Fusion Strike. So we're going back in time a little bit. It's 688 US dollars raw, and I've been one of the biggest advocates for Fusion Strike since its inception. I've been one of the biggest advocates for both this Gengar and the beautiful Espeon that comes inside Fusion Strike as well. But this card at $688, I don't know if it has many more legs left in it to become a higher price than that raw. There are 13,000 PSA 10 copies, and you might beg the question, well, why can't it go higher? Like, why can't it become $1,000 US raw card? And who knows, maybe it can. Like, maybe I'm wrong on this one. But if we go back to Phantom Forces, and there's a massive amount of hype around Mega at the moment, okay? It's really pumped up with the new Mega Evolution sets coming out. It's really pumped up a lot of XY singles. If you haven't seen that, you got your head buried in the sand, unfortunately, when it comes to Pokemon singles. Now, on top of that point, if they ever do something like tag teams again, although a lot of the tag teams from Cosmic Eclipse, Unbroken Bond, Unified Minds Team Up are very high at the moment, watch them scoot up even more. That's what happens. It adds more emphasis to those sets. So Phantom Forces Gengar, the top chase card from that set, it's 750 US dollars. It's older, it's rarer, it has a much lower PSA 10 population. There's some hype around Mega at the moment, so there's some hype around XY era again, and that's only $750. Like, I get it, the Gengar VMAX from Fusion Strike's a beautiful card, but what's going to make it dearer than 700 US dollars? I don't know. There's going to have to be some outsourced force that pushes that card up again. I don't think it's $700, it's an investment. And who knows, maybe in 10 years it might be worth $1,000, but is that a good investment? Could you have parked your money better somewhere else? There we go. There's my take on 8 singles I would not invest in, and hopefully I've talked some of you through some of the market mechanics that happen on singles when they come out and as they get a little bit older. I'm Michael, this is PokeYoz. Catch everyone next time.